Any errand you want done, Dad?
What do you want to know?
I want to earn another 2 shillings to buy a mouth organ with.
You think I've made of money?
Out of the ashes of post-war London comes the Ealing drama It Always Rains on Sunday. Googie Withers stars as the redoubtable barmaid who has her hands full with a former lover, out of jail and on the lam, and raising merry hell in the attics and Anderson shelters of 1940s Bethnal Green.
Nice way to spend a Sunday morning.
Peter, It Always Rains on Sunday is sort of seen as a precursor to kitchen sink realism?
Yes, it is pretty kitchen sink, although in some ways it's less parochial than kitchen sink. What's interesting about the East End of London, as it's seen in this movie, is that it's very, very candid about Judaism and people speaking in Yiddish and those sorts of things, which that's the kind of thing you don't get in the later, avowedly more political kitchen sink movies. That aspect of England and Anglo-Saxon culture seems to have gone. Whereas this film, interestingly, is much more candid about that. And it's a very ambitious film with a real sense of ensemble. It's made with enormous flair and verve. And it brings in a massive street scene, which looked like Marcel Carné to me. It was done terrifically well. This was made just 2 years before Kind Hearts and Coronets, before Hamer's sort of masterpiece. But it's still brought off with incredible dash, and it's rather exhilarating, despite that fantastically miserable title. I mean, you just think, oh, do I really want to watch a film called It Always Rains on Sunday?
It's the first of a franchise. They went through the week.
Yes, it's perking up on Tuesday. As I say, that's a sort of, it sounds miserablest, whereas in a way there's something much more melodramatic and sensational that it cuts through the rainy, miserable, imprisonedness of a British Sunday and gives you an escaped convict in your Anderson shelter in the garden. I mean, it's brilliant, it's incredibly exciting.
Catherine, Peter and I obviously can remember these days very well. We were quite small, but we were around. But it must be like looking at a different world for you.
Yes, I couldn't understand a word they were saying. But it is quite exotic. It does feel like, it feels very notably, say, good decade earlier than say Woman in Dressing Gown or something like that, a issue like that. It feels absolutely amazing. It feels completely unstifling for a sort of precursor to Kitchen Sink. And it has this bracingly horrible heroine, a bit like Woman in Dressing Gown. She's just so ghastly, and you don't in the first few scenes imagine that she will turn out to be the heroine. It's just wonderful. I love that bit where she's just being such a bitch to them all, and then she says, "You're gonna get in the way of my mending." Fabulous, and this is the romantic heroine.
Yes, it's fantastic, but you can just see how she's become that way. She's stifled that part of herself that she was once in love with Tommy Swan, the kind of dodgy, leery tearaway who's always showing up at the Three Compasses, and she's kind of flirting with him and has this wonderful kind of picnic. It sort of cuts to this fantastically English picnic that they're having. Quite innocent, not very sexual. He's always going upstairs. He's always going upstairs for a nap. It doesn't occur to them to go upstairs and have sex. He's knackered after being on the run from Dartmoor. He's made it down to the East End from Dartmoor, so he really must be exhausted. But it's great. It's very, very watchable.
It's all right. It's me, Tommy.